welcome to Bitstorm, a comedy game design podcast by two guys who know nothing about comedy nor game design. I'm Ben Slinger, and with me, as always, taking a sip of his drink, so I'll give him a second, Trevor Scott.
Yes, I am here.
And this week we are going to continue with our new series, Click Pitch Garage. Trevor, why don't you tell our listening audience what's that?
We decided to take our regular click pitch game where we each grab a random word and sort of mash it together and come up with game designs and all that sort of stuff, and add in some additional restrictions, and that being game mechanics. So far in this series, we've done grappling hooks and tech trees, and today we don't know what we're gonna tackle. So we're gonna find out the next two episodes worth of mechanics today. Yep. We're both gonna say it on the count of 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Say it. Don't. It's not 3, 2, 1. Now and then say. It's 3, 2, 1. Say.
3, 2, 1. Say. Say on 0.
Yeah. Say on 0.
Yeah. Let me get it in my head so I don't have to reach for it on 0. Okay, I've got it. Do you have yours?
I have mine.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Combo
Streaming
meters.
integration.
Okay, so we've got combo meters and we've got streaming integration.
Combo meters. Okay, combo meters.
Yeah, I like both of those. I think they're both wide open for possibilities. So,
I'm really liking combo meters. So I think this week we switch it up. The first time it was me and then you, and now we'll just go W and then
W, X, Y, and Trev.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we'll do then. Cool. So today's mechanic that we try to work into every game in our click pitch is combo meters.
Combo meters.
Whether it's, the classic Tony Hawk combo building up over time, or fighting game combo, whatever it is, we'll apply it to many different games, whatever we come up with.
I'm looking forward to seeing how we put it into a adventure game, because that'll be amazing to see all those points. The more points that you get, the higher the combo meter goes, and the number of times you point things and then click on them in a row without pointing on something and not clicking. In fact, maybe it could be that you don't want to build your combo meter up because that's how many clicks you've done without clicking on an actual item that you can interact with.
It's avoiding the hidden pixel syndrome. The more things you click on, the higher your combo, and that's a bad thing. It's golf rules. All right, well, before we pre-play our mechanics, let's jump in and each get an adjective and a noun. 3, 2, 1, click.
Concentrated fallacy.
Glad you put that last syllable on. Extended publication.
Okay, extended publication.
So, fallacies are often concentrated in publications of a certain type. If you want to go into the media landscape.
I think of extended publication, and I think tabloid, because that goes very well with fallacy.
So this is
like
Rupert Murdoch pro skater.
Oh my god.
Pro hater.
Oh god,
he is a bit of a hater.
Oh fuck. Okay, so this is like I don't know, one of those tabloids that talks about alien abductions and I married an
Daily
alien.
Observer kind of. No, wait, is that one of them? I don't know. Whatever. Like Elvis sightings.
Yeah. All those awesome sort of things. So it's not a It's not a tabloidy sort of thing, but it's more around the actual.
It's cryptozoology, and it's like the really out there stuff that is almost just it's fiction. I mean, it is fictional, but like, it's hard to believe they think it's actually real. They're just putting it out there for the exhibit of it all. Okay,
because we all know that Bigfoot wasn't spotted in a cinema in, Washington State because he doesn't like the smell of popcorn. Like, come on.
And he's not a Marvel fan. He doesn't like the Marvel movies. So why would he be there for Black Panther? Like, come on. So are you a reporter and you are having to, like, hunt down stories and somehow turn them into this tabloid fodder?
There's something about, like, you being a new reporter for this tabloid, and you're going out investigating all this stuff, whereas everyone else just stays in the office and writes stuff. They
just come up with it. They just fabricate it completely. You're the only one out there on the streets trying to get the real scoop on ghosts and their day-to-day habits.
So what I'm thinking is, as you're interviewing these people, there's lots of different options that you can ask people about.
Okay.
And the combo meter goes up as you like
ask the right questions.
You ask a question that leads to something that could become a story. So the idea is that you're trying to build up your combo meter of you're going down the right line and asking these questions to get a juicy story. And the higher the combo meter goes for it, I think it's one of these things that maybe each question that you ask has a certain point score assigned to it, so that the combo meter does go up a little bit higher.
So the challenge of bringing in something like a combo meter, which is obviously so grounded in just gameplay, is it needs to be something it almost needs to be something you can do over and over again, right? Because if you drop your combo, okay, you haven't got as good a score on this one, but you'll get a high score on the next one. So I wonder if it could be around questioning, but I would think you'd need some sort of almost procedurally generated thing.
Yeah.
And I wonder if it's more around an abstracted version of the questions. So you're not actually seeing the sentences and the words in the questions, but you're seeing some sort of symbols or some sort of gameplay mechanic that is representing the questions you ask and the follow-up answers, and it's like building up a file on a particular story or on this other story, or creating leads.
I do like that, like an entire conversation thing built on emojis. That, like, they're your only selections for what you actually, what you're talking about and all that sort of stuff. And it's all about context clues of what happened in the previous one. And there's, like, I see the combo meter as almost the excitement meter of this journalist. So asking the questions is one part of it.
Yeah, I wonder if you can, like, go to it. I wonder if, again, from a sort of keeping it into the mechanics and being able to repeat it, you go into a procedurally generated town and there are people wandering around, and you can come up and you have these conversations that are completely based in emojis. And initially, it might be like, I don't know if there is one of these, but like Bigfoot emoji question mark. And then you get some responses from them, like you get a series of emojis, and you have to sort of pull from that the mood or the general tone to then, lead it into different directions based on your other emojis. And I think there obviously has to be a system to it, but it can be a little bit just instinctual about how you would do it.
Yeah, and maybe one of the things is that they give you a point on the map that you can now do some, like, investigation sort of stuff, and depending on.
I think you've almost got these milestones for any particular story where you might. Okay, if you get that up high enough with one or two people in that town for that particular story, like I'm picturing you can almost have multiple ones on the go. So, like, you might get to a town, you get the, 3 milestones for this one story from this town, but also you got a couple of small leads, towards different stories in this town. And yes, they might give you points on a map of where to go next, or they might give you other people to talk to, which will be, more open to your questioning. And then eventually you essentially fill that up and you have all the information you need. Now, whether that leads to a final, I'm almost thinking you have like a photography kind of mini game or something, where you have to, it's like, oh, you've got all the details you need now, you know where to be at the right place at the right time, and now you've got the opportunity to capture a photo of whatever it was that you were hunting, whether it's UFOs, Bigfoot, ghosts, Elvis, whatever.
Yeah. And these sort of things, I'm imagining, again, as I said before, the combo meter is like your excitement for the story meter. Like, if you start getting some bad hits, like, the combo can weaken.
Yeah. It's sort of your momentum on that story almost. Yeah, and if you get too many in a row, it could completely kill a story. Like, that story has gone cold, basically.
Yeah, and other people have now heard that, other people who you've interviewed have badmouthed you, and no one's willing to answer questions on that anymore. And that's why I like the idea of it not actually being real conversations, but it's more around the fact of, like,
it's around the tone that people will give you, and what they think of you, kind of thing. Yeah.
Once you actually start talking about these sort of things, you could have even very simple emojis that this is a happy answer, this is a sort of angry answer. Like, it's all about working out.
Well, it could be
observational. Putting in there, like,
it could be observation as well. Yes, like what emotions they were giving you and what sort of tone it is, but also like, oh, they mentioned 3, dialogue sections back, I saw the butterfly emoji in there, and so if you get the opportunity to bring up butterflies, then that will help because you've observed that is one of their interests, and then they get all spirited about talking about that, and then you can, now let's bring back the, UFO emoji, because we actually want to hear about that story. And of course, it's not actually text. It's just, you get that combo build up, because you've essentially rode that momentum into more information and excitement about the story. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I like that quite a lot.
That's cool. That's fun. Good old Rupert Murdoch, pro hater. All right. 3, 2, 1, click. Ooh. Unavailable luxury.
Ruined bastard.
Nice. Ruined bastard. And that's like a cliched
bastard.
It's kind of like a cliched character, a ruined bastard. Just worn down by the world and turned into this bitter old bastard. Interestingly, when I saw luxury, I thought of a cruise liner. I don't know if there's anything there.
Either that, or is this a guy who was like incredibly rich, lived in a world of luxury, and is ruined financially from like the fall of
Bitcoin.
Yeah, I was just about to say some sort of cryptocurrency, and because his wallet's now unavailable, like it was from it was from one of these places that
he lost one.
Recently
he lost one. He lost one value from his alphanumeric key or his private key or whatever. Yes, whatever it is. Yes, I think he's lost all his money. What's he doing now?
Helping people and trying to like reduce the carbon footprint of all the cryptocurrency that he used to have. He realizes that it was really bad, and it's like the whole thing is about planting trees and helping people. And if he starts to stray, the combo gets broken.
Okay, I could see an interesting balance there between.
I don't want to get too preachy on it, but it's...
No, I know. But between sacrificing himself, like, to do good for other people, he needs to go without something himself. And there's always going to be a balance there where if you do that too many times, this might be the one where you've literally run out of food again or whatever, and you go hungry for the night, and that is enough to break your combo or whatever, right? Like, I feel like we can create an interesting balance between doing something for yourself versus doing something for others and how that plays off. Because you can't just do that forever. It can't just be constantly do something for others because the combo will keep going up, But the higher your combo, maybe the more likely you are to get something in return from the people you help. If you give food to someone on the street, maybe they point you in the direction of,
I sort of see this almost like a combination between, like an arcadey platformer sort of thing and a cookie clicker. Where, as you go and you're building up your combo about doing these nice things for people or whatever you're doing, then you get a multiplier that you can purchase for a little bit of, or someone offers you this sort of thing and it breaks your combo, but then it's like it helps you build the combo up quicker, and it's sort of like that thing of you're trying to do good, but while also not, effectively offsetting your carbon.
So, is it that your combo breaks if you use a car or if you
whether it's that level or whether it's more, it's all about being selfless. And if you,
it is hard to make mechanics around that sort of game, unfortunately. I think it takes some it takes a lot of finessing to really get that to work right and to have it be fun. I do like the idea. Yeah, I'm almost picturing it as almost like like an endless runner, but you keep running into people who need help, and you have to choose whether or not to help them. Or almost like a paperboy situation where you're just constantly going down the street and it's like, help this person. Oh no, I'm running out of time. Like I need to catch a cab, and now you've broken your combo because you've used too many resources or something.
Yeah,
yeah, that's cool. All right, I think I'm not sure we can keep rolling too much on that one.
That's okay.
But,
let's keep going.
But also vote for climate change people who are going to, fix it. All right. Attacking Rave.
Startled Ray.
Okay. I mean, raves have rays.
Yeah.
With, like, lasers and things. Or it could just be a dude called Ray.
Ray attended a rave and he got startled because there was so many people there with glow sticks. Like...
Yeah, Ray went to a rave and it rained, unfortunately, but,
Then he started attacking people with a sword. I mean, getting that combo meter up, like...
He did get a high combo. He killed everyone there, but the combo was high then. Okay.
Okay. I've got an idea. So, someone spiked the drugs at this rave, right?
Okay.
And made all the people at this rave, like, stark raving mad. And they start, like, attacking Ray.
Okay.
The combo is from deflecting. So he doesn't want to hurt...
So it's a purely non-violent combo
The idea
like
being
a non-violent fighter, essentially.
He's effectively trying to, block all these things while taking him to the hospital. Like, gradually getting them closer to the hospital where he knows that people can actually...
Well, I think without going too complicated with it, I do like the idea of essentially I don't know if it almost makes sense to make it a rhythm game, given the setting, but we don't have to. But a game where it plays like a fighter, except that you never hit anyone. Like, it plays like a brawler, except you never hit anyone.
I can imagine that it's sort of like, if you do one of those grab sort of things, you can use someone as like a human shield for a little bit and then push them into the crowd. That gives you a little bit of time to sort of get away a little bit further. And
yeah, it's about crowd management. It's about dodging. Maybe you've even got a little bit of like parkour kind of stuff in there. But there's no attacking. Like, you are doing your best not to hurt people, and your combo breaks if they get hurt. Like, if you push them in the wrong direction and they
get hit by a bus,
something, or they get hit by someone else who's trying to attack you.
You
or
push
whatever.
them and they fall downstairs. That breaks your combo because it's like broken leg, broken combo.
Oh, I love that idea. I'm really into the idea of bringing in a lot of the fighting game and brawler tropes, but they're all bad things when people are getting hurt. So yeah, you see someone falling down the stairs and you see like the little thing come up over them, broken leg, fractured wrist, and it takes away points or whatever, like combo broken. I like that a lot.
Ray was heading to this rave because like he went down there to go get his, I'm thinking, teenage son or teenage daughter or something like that, who was at this rave, and like coming down there, concerned parent is like, you shouldn't be down here, and then everyone in there like turned, they've got like red eyes and they start attacking the shit out of it. It's essentially
like a zombie, it's an infection sort of thing almost. They behave like attacking zombies almost, but you're not going to hurt them. Like, they're still people, and you have to help them.
Yeah.
But I wonder, are you just still trying to... Is the whole thing you trying to find your child, then? Getting through all these people, different levels of people. Does it become something? Is it like a zombie thing where it started here, but it starts infecting other people? And again, like, we'd probably have to have some exposition around this. But it's like, we can help these people. Like, we can't just go around hurting these people because they're sick. We need to get them help, but we also need to protect ourselves. So the more you can do that non-violently and without hurting anyone or getting hit yourself. Oh, I wonder if you can choose to get hit. Like, you'll lose some health, but your combo doesn't break.
Yeah.
Because you've essentially, like... Especially, there might be situations where it's like, oh, well, I could block that, but I know that there's an attack coming from this direction that would hit them if I did that. So instead, I'm going to choose to, like, let them hit me. We'll go back. The other attack will miss, and my combo stays high.
Yeah. You got some people out there that actually have weapons, and you've got to disarm them, because the whole idea is that if they swing wildly and they happen to cut someone else, like... that's going to help break your combo. So I think that it's not too deep into the mob, because I'm imagining there's a lot of people in this mob that are coming towards you.
I want this guy to be essentially John Wick, but the non-violent John Wick.
Yeah.
So like, he's doing these like super moves where it's like, oh, this guy's got a gun, so he just like comes under, grabs the gun, like pulls it apart in midair. Or like takes the bullets out or whatever. The bullets all go flying over the ground. This person's about to hit him. He like blocks that, grabs this person, moves them over here to stop someone else.
So in non-violent, like if you knock someone out through, getting them into a chokehold and they get knocked out, you technically haven't actually like hurt them as such. It's sort of like...
I guess there'd have to be a limit. There'd have to be a line between what counts as damage to them in some way.
Severe injury versus, like, if the only way out is actually, punch a guy, then maybe you break the combo just to get out. Like, you break these guys' nose.
Yeah, you may have to. Yes, there may. Yeah, I think you can have that choice of breaking the combo. I wonder if you can. I wonder if kind of like how from the very early Assassin's Creed, and I guess they still kind of had this. You had like the trigger to go into your sort of running, like your parkour mode, and back to your sort of assassin mode. I wonder if you've got a trigger or something that brings you in and out of a violent mode versus a non-violent mode.
Yeah.
So you've still got a lot of these combo, like you've still got attacks, but you have to specifically be in that violent mode to use them. So it's like, okay, I'm going to hold down left trigger now and hit X, and that's my punch. Like, that's a punch. And you've got a bunch of combos in there too that you can do. But you're not going to build up your combo meter. And perhaps you can play the entire game like that. Like, perhaps you can just play it like a normal brawler, but you're not going to get good scores and you're not going to get a good ending.
Yeah, I mean, there's like, I'm seeing it in speedrunning percentages. You've got like any percent, which is literally you just go around punching people, and
you can get a gun and shoot them all if you want. Like,
I would love there to be a way to get through with the perfect combo. Like, you never break the combo, and it basically it means that you haven't done anything to hurt someone else. I think if a zombie hurts someone else, it doesn't necessarily, break your combo because you haven't caused that.
It would depend on, I mean, we'd have to see how the kind of mechanics of it played out, because you wouldn't want it to just emerge in gameplay, whatever.
You saw a guy running in with a knife, and he goes to, plunge it into you, and he ends up plunging into the poor zombie lady right behind you. That's on you, because you didn't disarm.
That's on you. Yes. But you don't have people at the periphery, like, accidentally hurting each other and that counting against your combo or anything like that.
Great idea. Like, this has just come to my head. Depending on how many weapons you disarm, like, you can sell them at like certain places of, it's like a pawn shop. You go into a pawn shop and it's like where you can get health and other accessories. It's like, I've got 13 knives and 2 guns. What do you give me for it?
Yeah.
It's like,
that's good, because then that gives you a reason on both directions. Like, you can use them if you are doing it in a violent, like, or you don't care about being violent or whatever, but then they'll like degrade and you can't sell them for as much, or they, once the gun runs out of bullets.
As soon as I said pawn shop, I'm like, yes, this is what, like, the best way. It's like, if you get sponsorship, you go into a Cashies and Cash Converters for all our...
Cash Converters presents Ray's Rave.
Raven Ray.
Raven Ray's Rainy Rave.
There's something about, like, I can imagine Ray being, some SAS soldier or something like that,
I think he's a Liam Neeson in Taken type.
Yeah.
Or a John Wick, like an older guy, 50s, but has a history there. But he's now a concerned parent, and he's past that life.
So, is this... I think there is an ending to the game that you can get to. Like, there is a legitimate end.
Yeah.
But the idea is that there are different ways to end the game, sort of thing. Like,
maybe there's one or two people in every level who, as long as they survive, that moves towards finding a cure for this thing, because they're like scientists or doctors or whatever. But you don't know. There's no way of you knowing who they are. So if you go through the level violently, you are potentially removing your chance to get the good ending, because essentially the people who would have solved this, you let them die.
I mean, I'm seeing this as either, Arkham Combat or, or Shadow of Mordor, where there are some attacks that you cannot block and you have to get out of the way. and
Yes.
and maybe use. No, I'm picturing now it's like Aikido, where you use their power.
I think there
against
are
them.
I think there are a lot of diverting moves, a lot of holds and moves. I almost want to bring it into. Have you seen that game? What's it called? I think it's called Fights in Tight Places or something.
No, I haven't seen that.
It's more of a puzzle game.
Cool.
But it's essentially you've got a small area and it's you up against a bunch of people and they're all coming to attack you or shoot you or whatever, and you've actually got cards. It's a card-based game, but the card will be like a particular move which just brings you around someone and hits them in the side of the head or whatever. Like, they're all about doing movement. And so when you play a really good round, you're just like getting out of the way of attacks, hitting them from the side, moving them over there so they get hit by someone else. Obviously, like, it's turn-based, so you wouldn't do that in this game, but I'd love to have an element of that where whether there's a bit of slowdown or a bit of like almost the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes like pre-planning, like if I do this and then this and then this, like you almost get it. You get like 10 seconds to make some decisions about how you're going to approach this particular combination of people coming towards you, and then it plays out.
Yeah, I can imagine at the end of each sort of level, there's like a section that is like the crescendo, where it's like this is the time when you've managed to make sure that there's only 13 people left, and now this happens,
kind of
and
the
this
final
happens,
tussle,
and you can basically go through the last 10 seconds, and it's almost like it slows right down, and you can plan your move and see. Yeah, it comes in
you want
here.
it to
I
play
want to
out
block
like a ballet of blocking and moving and ducking and dodging and and then I think you have to maybe do sort of quick time-ish events to actually play out
that
your plan.
part out. When you finally decide, okay, you've pictured, a la your Sherlock Holmes that you said, he's going to punch like this, and it's going to, I block out of the way, pull him in, throw him into the wall, and that enables the next guy to come in, and I block up and launch him over the top.
And that's going to hit this person
and
and disable them, and exactly. But at any point of those steps, you could fail and your combo breaks, and now it's sort of back just into the normal gameplay of, now I just got to react.
Yeah, and now guys coming in with a knife that you didn't see before.
yeah,
because they knocked one of your knives loose. They bent down and picked it up, and was like,
Oh, I like that idea, especially when you end up carrying so many. It's like you get hit, and just a couple of knives just clatter out on the ground.
Oh God, that there's something about this that makes me, wish that I had more time to build, game systems and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be hard. That one will get complicated. You'd need some good experience in building fighting systems. And, and just in the AI involved for that sort of combat, like multiple people combat, like the Arkham Asylum or, Shadow Immortal sort of stuff. But again, we do tend to do this on this game a bit, just moving away from violence, like moving away from that, hitting and shooting people being the only verbs that you've got to play with. It's like, no, like, you got a choice here. You can do the whole thing non-violently, essentially. Find the cure, save everyone.
Oh, wouldn't it be really cool, like, to have that there's an ending for if you go through beating everyone up, and then there's a much longer, more fulfilling ending if you actually go through and, Aikido your way through and just use their strength against them. And
especially with the combo meter, I think that you are much more, it's actually harder in some ways to go through it violently. It's easier in some ways because you can just blast people out of the way and disable them much easier with a punch or whatever. But you don't get some of the rewards that come from your high combos, whether that leads to money you can spend at the shops or
I'm just imagining
going back to tech trees, whether you can unlock new moves, and they.
I'm imagining that you've got a guy coming in with a knife, and you're like, okay, I'm going to disable him by grabbing hold of the bottom part of his hand, which is holding the knife. Push down his elbow and just plunge the knife into his sternum. It's like, that's disabled.
This would be almost impossible to do, but I love the idea of if you could do that by you pull down that trigger halfway through the move. So you've gone from non-violent into violent mode.
Oh, I left a little bit later and it's gone right through his head.
Yeah, exactly. That's cool.
Yeah, I really like that. Or adding an extra wrinkle. I know that we talked early on about the daughter. What if he finds the daughter and the whole idea is that he's just trying to get her to safety, and she is somewhat attacking you some of the time. You've got to be, sort of blocking her attacks, but keeping her,
keeping her safe
as well as everyone coming to attack you and her. There's something about the juxtaposition
protecting particular people could be an interesting
mechanic
wrinkle there. Whether it's that you find your daughter near the end, or it could be around saving those right people.
Yes.
And getting them to somewhere. It's like, I know I said that part of that was not knowing who they were, but if you ignored that and it was like, you need to get these people to safety. They haven't been infected yet, but they're going to have some way of helping. It's like, okay, now this section of the level is, not just protecting yourself, but having to put yourself in harm's way sometimes because you're trying to protect the other person and they can't fight back like you
can.
So
that adds an extra part to the game that definitely brings the non-violent thing into.
Yeah, and it would be so challenging because I feel like just positioning of people would be such a factor in this. You'd almost need it to be on a grid, but you don't want it to be turn-based necessarily, so you'd almost just need to have a very natural, so that you can know very well that, this guy's like running towards this person. If I don't move them out of the way, they're going to get hurt. Mm-hmm. So you can do a shove or whatever, and okay, that's going to move them, essentially one square that way, and the person's going to go, falling past and stumble over or something. You sort of need that definite spacing and positioning. But ideally you also want it to feel very natural. So tricky. But hey, we're not making it, so get on it, Monolith, or
3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Start your engines.
Busy mode.
Distressed conversion.
Ooh. Don't want to go the religious angle.
Oh, no. I was actually thinking, you're an alien who's infiltrating Earth, and the conversion to the human form is rather distressing.
Yep. Okay. Busy mode made me think of someone in an office when their boss comes around. Not sure that those two concepts line up, so unless you are an alien pretending to be an office worker.
Pretending to be a boss.
I mean, if you've done well enough.
Oh, God.
I do like the idea of perhaps a somewhat stealth-based game set in an office. Mm-hmm. The classic kind of cubicles and water cooler and, typical sort of office. Where you maybe have tasks to do. Maybe you do play the boss. You have tasks to do. Mm-hmm. But you can also only hold human form for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
And so you are attempting to get around and ask Damien about his TPS reports, and then you need to go and refill your coffee, and then you've got a meeting with the boss, your boss.
Yeah.
but you have to time it out well enough so that
you can have your bathroom break, and that's with rabbit ears either side.
Yes, that's your quote bathroom break, where you go in and you go, oh, and relax, and you just immediately turn back into the sloppy.
And it sounds like a really long fart.
Yeah, it does. It is sloppy. It's there are splashing sounds involved, and that's just because of what happens to your body when you
and all the tentacles
form. Yeah. But
it sounds like it's all going back in when it goes the opposite way, and it's like that's where you need to make sure that there's no one else in the room, because otherwise they're going to like, oh my god, did it just go back in?
So I wonder if there are... I'm not even going to dignify that. I wonder if there are... Do you think there are, like, suspicion? Like, where does the combo come in? Is it about being spotted? Is it about... Like, I wonder if as you get close, you start... Like, just little parts of you changing or something. Like, your eye starts coming out on a stalk because you've got eye stalks in your alien form.
Yeah.
While you're talking to Jenny at the photocopier. And she starts, like... going, what is going on? And you just like you can run away, but you'll raise her suspicion. And the combo is maybe just around like the amount of time that you can stay hidden, essentially.
Yeah. What does this alien eat?
Toner. That's why he needs to be in the office at all.
Employees. Because I'm just wondering if it's like can you snack on the temporary receptionist, or
okay, that could be an interesting part of it, because maybe when you feed,
we need to go to a different temp agency. All these male receptionists
they just not keep disappearing.
They keep disappearing and walking off at lunch.
On the job.
It's always at lunchtime.
So if you feed, can you stay in your human form longer? Is that part of it then?
Yeah, maybe it's like, and can you sneak a sneaky like finger snack? That is literally
part of them?
Like human fingers. they get snacking on. It's like
you reckon I was thinking you just kind of absorb them, and maybe it takes a little bit of time, so you have to time it right to make sure no one's coming in. But I mean, yeah, you can have some leftovers. When you absorb someone, your inventory fills up with fingers and toes.
You go into your boss's office and it's like, I prepared finger sandwiches. And it's like...
oh, because there's cucumber on. No.
He's
going a bit green.
I do kind of like the idea that all the bosses in this game are aliens. So it's like when you call in the
well, maybe there's a narrative aspect, because I think initially you should think you're the only one.
Yeah,
but at some point in the game you have no choice. Like there's a narrative moment where you are in a meeting and it's gone on so long with your colleague or like someone else at your level that you cannot do anything except change back. And then they're like, oh, are you a Schlorpian too? And then they change. Schlop. This is based on the sound that you make when they change. That's definitely not an original alien name.
No.
Yeah, and then you start... Now you've got people you can talk to about it, and you can create a bit more narrative about why these Schlorpians are there, and have that as a bit of a respite of, we know that if Jane sees us, then it's fine. She just gives you a little wink and offers you a finger. A human severed finger, not a sexual advance.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why that's better. But in the context of this game, it is.
Of course it is. Like,
we don't condone sexual harassment in the workplace. Only the eating of other employees. And again, not the sexual context.
And particularly from temp agencies. Not permanent employees.
It's written in their contract. It's a weird clause that some people notice, but just sort of
they brush
end up
off
signing
going,
anyway.
Yeah.
I was like, now that you're a permanent employee, you have no danger of being consumed by a boss.
It's like Google's "Don't be evil." It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so okay, I kind of like the idea that the combo meter is almost a bad thing.
Sorry, I looked it up. I stole Schlorpians from Justin Roiland.
Yeah,
that's the aliens in Solar Opposites. But anyway, We'll stick with it for now. Sorry, go ahead.
I was thinking that the combo meter is almost a bad thing. You don't want the combo to hit too high, because that's one of those things.
That's around the suspicion and stuff.
That's not just suspicion, but it's also how long you've been going in the human form and that sort of stuff. And when you sort of hit this level, that's where you're going to revert.
The higher your combo, the messier it is when you revert back to your Schlorpian form. And if you've kept your combo relatively low and you end up needing to revert or choosing to revert, you might be able to hide it, because it just means your suit ends up a bit wet and sticky. But if you've let it go too high, like, you're just going to burst out of that thing and your tentacles are going to end up all over the place. This still all sounds like a sexual harassment suit waiting to happen in this office. So maybe let's 3, 2, 1, click.
Sounds like a good idea. Accomplished. Portable.
Boring. Spotting.
So, I'm wondering, is this accomplished portable? Like, I see it as almost... I recently watched Wanderlust on your recommendation, and the brother of Paul Rudd's character, he rents out portable toilets, and I'm kind of thinking, is the combo meter how many calls in a row you can actually make and rent out, like, portable?
Oh, I thought when you said calls, I thought you meant like people calling into your toilets and leaving a deposit.
No. So it's cold calling, but being so good at your job that you can sell, portable toilets to anyone.
Okay. I think I like the portable toilets. I don't know about selling them, because I feel like that becomes...
renting them or whatever.
Or whatever. But I do feel like it could more be around where you place them and how much use they get.
Okay.
Now, we don't have to get too gross with it.
No.
But we can if we want.
I kind of like the idea that the higher up that you go, the more amenities that you can actually install in these toilets. Like, now they're self-cleaning. Now there's a portal in the bottom and it just gets sucked into, like, another dimension.
I mean, we can go to that level. If you get that combo meter high enough... Now, what breaks the combo? Is it a toilet that overflows? Is it
gets tipped over?
Tipped over?
Like, you thought that it was a good idea to place it in the middle of an intersection? Well, no, it wasn't, because it
would get so much use, but it's also just danger of it getting tipped over.
I mean, sure, you think having a portable on the corner of every single street is a good idea, because then people, if they really need to go, they just know that they need to go to the nearest corner and there's a portaloo waiting there. But that drunk driver just ran into 3 of them and knocked them all over, and you've got irate customers, and that's broken your combo.
Yeah, and there's poo everywhere. Okay, that's interesting. I've got an image in my head of sort of a top-down view of a city that's maybe broken up into different parks, buildings, roads. You've got construction areas and stuff. So you've got this variety of places to go, and I've just got the idea of just this constant bloom, 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 as your combo builds up from all these people using your toilets.
You can't see me at the moment, listeners, but I was literally scrunching my face up, just rubbing my eyes as if I've got a migraine right now.
I gave Trevor a migraine,
but I think it's brilliant.
Yeah.
This brings back the cookie clicker idea.
So you want to get to the point where it sort of is the cookie clicker idea, where you can't distinguish the plops. It's just an endless stream,
as it were.
You can't distinguish individual plops from the diarrhea of money you are making.
Yes.
From people using these toilets. Without them, and this is the thing, you have to have put them in the right places, and maybe you have to set up like maintenance, like crews, the patrols of people who are going around and cleaning them or emptying them or whatever. And you have to set up all your system well, so that, because if you break that combo, you get unhappy customers, people are going to be less likely to use them. Mm-hmm. You lose your reputation.
Okay. So I'm imagining that you've got a the way the game starts is like the city council have basically given you free reign on where you put these portaloos within our city limits.
Yeah.
You've got X amount of. I kind of like the idea of it's X amount of money to spend, and then each time that someone makes a donation,
yes.
you sort of build
leaves
up. Leaves a deposit. You build your combo of times used. But if someone brings up a complaint, you get hit quite. This one wasn't clean on this street, and you haven't. Mm-hmm. Your combos are starting to break a little bit, or that one is no longer included in the combo meter. So now you have to send out a cleaner to get that one added to the combo meter. So rather than being
it's essentially out of service, or
people will still use it, but anytime they use it, they come out and they're like, "Oh no, this was disgusting." Like,
but I think that can break your combo again. Every time someone uses one that is bad. That will break your combo. So you can put them out of service.
Entirely. I think that gets removed from the combo system, so that can no longer add to the quality of combos.
Potentially.
Because if we're using the combo meter for purchasing things, a la your cookie clicker sort of thing.
Well, I think the combo meter would more be like the longer you've gone without a problem.
Okay.
For one, the more likely people are to use it.
So you separate the combo meter versus the cash that you've got now to spend on the good
and
shit.
I think the cash just comes from every time someone uses it, you make some money.
Yeah.
And the combo meter is more around how likely people are to use it. It's almost your reputation.
Because I really do like this idea of you start out with one portaloo, and it's like... That's how you've got it. You've basically got a guy right there that after each person goes in, he goes in and does a quick clean and all this sort of stuff.
Well, if you're willing to pay it, like you have to pay them to be on shift, right? So I think it is around. Okay, you've got the one portaloo, and then you can decide on how often you want this person there, or how many people you want to pay on Poop Patrol.
No, Poop Troll, as in from last week. The Poop Troll.
A Poop Patrol. Well, I think Poop Patrol or Poo Patrol makes more sense in this case. But yes, the Poop Patrol, Poo Patrol. That's how they got the name. Everyone calls them Poop Trolls because they are the Poo Patrol, but it sounds very much like Poop Patrol.
Yeah.
So yes, and then you essentially the city is paying you every time someone uses it because they're trying to encourage cleanliness in the in the city and having free toilets, amenities. So that's just how the deal's worked out. Every time someone uses it, you get paid, and then you can use that money to buy a second one, and hopefully now you're multiplying your money.
Yeah.
Or you're not multiplying your money and you're just paying more people to clean the one you've got. These are the choices you've got.
Yeah.
I think, though, we definitely need to be just simulating the bowels of every citizen, right?
Yeah, and I see this as...
Yeah, and by simulating, I, of course, mean, in a simplified way, we have a poo a poop meter for every citizen that, if they eat, it's going to go up a bit faster.
Mm-hmm.
Then when they eventually...
Then they can make. Yes.
They can make. That's an awful term.
It's so American.
Yeah.
I like the idea of as this is going, like you can go outlandish with the upgrades that you can have for each of these things. What happens in like the second act of the game, or it's sort of like I see this as a run sort of thing that in two sense of the word, that there's like there's a marathon and someone gave out some really dodgy water that was actually contaminated, and now everyone's got the runs as well as running it, and therefore they're all
So is this like an event? Is this sort of an event that will occur at a certain point in the game?
Yeah, and
maybe they're random events though. Maybe instead of it being like Act 2 or whatever, the marathon happens. Maybe it's just.
Oh no, I was going to say Act 2 is actually a Slugworth like character comes in, and he's got like a competing Portaloo business. Yeah. So you've got a little bit of time to actually build this up, and at
to
some
build
stage,
your reputation and build your.
At some stage, there's going to be another rival company coming in, trying to take some of your business.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. So I think you've essentially got your reputation combo that builds up with every clean poop that someone takes, where they're happy with the experience. That means, in general, the people in the city are more likely to use your toilets. Once that gets down low, they're very unlikely to use it. You can obviously... Some will still use it. There's obviously also a balance between how much they need to go and how close they are to what toilet. So even if your reputation's rock bottom, someone who really needs to go is still going to use one of yours. And if that's clean, then okay, now your reputation goes up a little bit. Yeah. So you've got that opportunity to build it back up. But yes,
and it's all about getting your rankings up on I don't know, poopshit.com or whatever.
Poo Advisor.
Yeah. Poo Advisor. I think that's actually really good. It's by the people who made TripAdvisor, and it's like number 2 advisor. 2 advisor.
Shit advisor? That's the closest rhyme I can think of to trip. Later on, you can even... Because I like your idea about outlandish upgrades, we can go comical with this. You can bring in super high technology stuff, portals that teleport the poo all the way, But if that breaks, if you've got if it
reverses
tool,
accidentally, shit mountain is all of a sudden going up some poor guy.
Oh my god! I just had the vision of that event. Like, you've upgraded all your toilets to portal technology, but now you've run out of money or something. You can't afford to keep the other end of the portal going, and it reverses it all, and just all of a sudden every toilet that you've put down becomes a geyser
of brown water.
Yeah. All of that was to say that you can bring in the service where you have cars that will take people to the nearest toilet, and it's pooper.
Yeah.
It wasn't even good. It wasn't worth it.
No, but I do like this idea of just being able to... You want to build that combo meter up, as well as, like, the better that you're going without problems, the quicker that you're actually bringing on the Slugworth-like character.
Yeah, I think it essentially comes at a certain point in your success. The game will decide, okay, now, there's enough here that we need competition.
I'm just imagining that you can have, there's now a festival, like a Macy's Day Parade, and it's like, okay, I see that coming up in the calendar, and you've got a calendar coming up, and you can sort of say, down this street, make sure that...
Here's where the route is. We know that we're going to need enough toilets to...
Portaloos lining the streets. Like...
Yeah. Yeah.
There's something about this that is so fucking great.
I think you once you've got your Slugworth character as well, like, their workers are going to try to sabotage. They're going to send out saboteurs against your toilets. So now some of the upgrades you can get are like defense mechanisms where, you know, you can maybe set them up to detect certain conditions and it'll just slam the toilet shut and not let anyone in to try to sabotage it. But that can backfire on you. Like, you have to do it based on, you know, all their employees wear blue shirts and red hats. But if someone, just a regular civilian, happens to be wearing a blue shirt and red hat, like, they're going to get locked out and they're going to give you a bad review. Mm-hmm. So you have to, again, balance those up against your reputation.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of some of the other things that you could actually bring in. Is like, rather than, you know, we've only focused on number 2s at the moment. What if there were specific toilets that you could actually get that were just for number 1s?
Yeah, porta urinals.
Yeah, basically
for men and women.
For men and women, you've got a funnel that you can give the women on the way in, and the sheep is
more cleanliness. Yeah, I do like that you could perhaps have certain, and we don't have to go into the details of how they work inside,
no.
But like,
they're longer things because they can process more people a lot quicker.
That's it. I think it's that people will go in there only if they need to do a number 1, but they'll be quicker, and so they're going to be more bang for your buck in certain times. You can have just one of them, and, you know, 2
setting them up outside of a convenience store that has those really large, oversized sodas, like, you know, Goldmine.
Yeah, I do like the idea that essentially every, like, you've just got, you know, fairly basic AI of these citizens going about their days, but different stores that they go into or different times of day will alter their intestinal, you know, levels in different ways.
Yeah.
And you have a spike of people using your Portaloos every Taco Tuesday. You know, you have to be prepared for that.
Ooh, if you're in, like, say, the French Quarter or something like that of the city, you know that those sort of people, they love a bidet. But the typical user doesn't like a bidet. So it's like, you can also now start talking about...
Well, and what if even, because, like, if you have dirty toilets, you could give people gastro, which can then affect other people. But that means more people are going to need to use your toilets. Like, you could have this whole cascading effect where you just create this situation where everybody needs to poo all the time, and you can't handle the load. Pun intended.
Dysentery. Basically, it's just, if you don't do right, it's just rivers of shit.
Yeah, we definitely just want, like, pollution system, like, flowing through the city. If you've got overflowing toilets, they just will let out a slow drip of poo water. And if you've got too many and they're all doing it, like, that's the disaster case. It's like in SimCity when your whole city ends up on fire.
Why did you put all those toilets along the drinking water line, and it's all gone in? Like,
well, I'm just picturing you set up for the big parade, and you've got the Portaloos all the way down, and then you end up with a dysentery infection, and then the parade is going down this street that's just flowing with everything coming out of your toilet.
Because you didn't put a portal in those toilets, you had to send down the truck to go clean it out every, you know, ex customer. Well, you forgot the Macy Day parade, and you didn't change the route for the day. They can't get through. All the ones on the other side, blocked.
Yeah, I definitely like that idea of you setting up your routes of your trucks coming through to empty them.
The order in which they need to go.
Different workers.
Like,
yeah,
if they're currently in use, if you didn't actually, you know, set the operating hours properly on these things, and you can actually have an auto lock sort of system, where it locks it out, and, you know, for cleaning and all that sort of stuff. I mean, I've noticed in the city occasionally they do have, like, an auto cleaning thing for these.
Yeah. Well, and that's it. I think as you get the higher technology ones, you have, whether it's just auto lock out during a certain time and you wait, you know, but you have to make sure then that route is on time. Like, you don't want to lock it at the wrong time and then they haven't come to clean it, or it's locked for too long and you miss out on users. Then you eventually get auto cleaning stuff. But they don't auto empty necessarily. Like, I mean, I guess some could be tied into the actual sewage, but they're less portable than they're more permanent.
Yeah, because I mean, the beauty about these portaloos is they're portable. Like, you don't want to tip them over because that's going to cause all sorts of mess. And then the poop trolls are going to have to they're going to have to clean up a lot more, and they love that sort of stuff. But, you know, they get all messy and we
pay them very well. Well, that could be a factor, actually. How well do you pay them? Because that will affect how well they do their job.
Depends if they're actually trolls or they're schlorpians.
I don't think they're actually trolls. All right. I don't know why this episode and the last one have focused so heavily on bodily functions, but I don't know. We're having fun, so hope you guys are too. I think we'll end it there on that note.
Yep.
If you want to find us online, all of our previous episodes are up at podchaser.com/bitstorm. I promise they're not all about poop. Some are, but they're not all about poop. Go there, listen to some of them, leave us a review, let us know what you thought. We would love to hear from you.
If you like the song that we play at the start and end, that song is called Mad Defiance. It's on the album Containment Failure by the band Kuradust. Just search for Kuradust and Bandcamp and on Google and you'll find it. It's free.
That's right. Yeah, go have a listen. So thank you again for joining us this week on Bitstorm. I'm Ben Slinger.
I'm Trevor Scott. Poo Patrol, always on the trouble.
Poo Patrol.
Whenever
get there on the double.
Trouble.
Rocky, Lumpy, the runs.
Constipation.
And Sky. She just is having a real bad time.